Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for stopping in. Today we have another episode of Gear and Gadgets for you, and we got a couple of really cool items to get to. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I release daily knife and EDC content, and hit that thumbs up button. That helps push this video out there to more people, and let us know what you're carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. I love seeing what you have for your EDC. So the first item we're going to start with, I took this out of the mailer and I took it out of the little box. This was sent into the channel by a company called Flissa, and they make some very inexpensive knives. I will say that first and foremost. This knife is going to be geared more for someone who is looking for just a very basic cutting tool that's not going to cost much money at all. And if something happens to it, not a huge deal, right? This is going to be like a $10 to $15 knife. We are looking at a full-size knife here, though. This is going to be 5CR stainless steel, so nothing to write home about, but it's an okay steel at 10 to 15 bucks. We have a sheep's foot blade here with a coating on it, and then we do have dual thumb studs and a flipper tab here for deployment. It's an okay sharpening choil. Get a decent amount of life out of this thing. And then as far as the action is concerned, it flicks out good with the thumb studs. Reverse flick, easy. And then the flipper tab works pretty good as well. As far as the closing action, it takes a couple of shakes to get it closed, but that will probably break in, and if that were to get cleaned in there and lubed up properly, it would probably have even better closing action. It's not too bad, though. It's pretty smooth. And then we have textured G10 handles here, open construction for our backspacer area here. We just have a couple of standoffs. Textured G10 looks really good. And then we are looking at a right hand only pocket clip tip down. And that's going to be that's probably the main flaw with this knife is you can only carry it tip down. At this point, there's so much room back here. This could have easily been a tip up carry, but if you're spending 10, 15 bucks, you might not be too worried about how you're going to carry the knife. I can say, with tip down, it does make it easier to get it out of the pocket, and then it's less hand movements to get it out of the pocket and opened up. But I can say I prefer tip up as well 99.9% of the time. There's good access to the liner there, and the lockup looks pretty heavy, like 80% or so, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but there's not a lot left to travel on that tang. So eventually that liner will someday work its way over there to 100%, but should be all right. You won't have this knife long enough most likely to worry about it. You might. It feels like a really solid knife. Steel liners. It feels good, so it's a knife that could possibly hang around. It'd make a good toolbox knife or junk drawer knife or something to throw in, a family member's vehicle just so they have a knife if they're not a knife person, right? Or if you're trying to get somebody a knife who doesn't carry knives, this might be a good option where you're not going to spend a lot of money but still be able to get something decent. We won't run our normal tests on this, but we will check a few things. We're looking at 3 1/4 cutting edge, 3 1/2 of total, and 8 1/4 overall. So it's a good size knife right here. It's not a small knife. Let's go ahead and see what kind of edge they put on this thing. Maybe. So it feels like it could be touched up for sure. It's got an edge on it, but it definitely, that's what exactly happens when the edge is, not screaming sharp. That tip area, though, isn't bad, but it'll tear the paper before it cuts it. and that's just a tall tell sign it needs touched up. Being as it's 5CR, it'll be very easy to touch up. 5CR doesn't hold the longest edge, but it's an okay steel. So let's get into one of our other items of discussion. We got this Workos TS23 here, and Wurkkos has really made some waves with me personally. They make some fantastic lights, and I can qualify that by saying I use a different flashlight, or I use flashlights every single day. Every single night, we're outside riding bike. We are going on walks, taking the animals outside, feeding animals, stuff like that. We are constantly using flashlights. Now, this flashlight here, the TS23, is going to be geared more for around the house, around the property, or a flashlight for in a vehicle, like an emergency type situation. This is a little bit large for an EDC light. If you wanted to EDC something this size, more power to you. That's awesome. But it's a little bit large for just a basic EDC flashlight. So we are looking at a USB-C rechargeable light here, and I'm sure we have to pop this off to get it turned on. They probably have a tab in here. Looks like a 21700, yeah. If you ever get a new light and you wonder why it's not turning on, it's because there is a tab over your battery. And yes, we're looking at a 21700 rechargeable battery. So this thing is going to pack a punch. We have a full aluminum body with tons of fluting and milling done all the way around. Looks pretty cool. We have a two-way deep carry clip here, and we have a spot for a lanyard back here on the tail. And then we are looking at a tail cap for actuation here. And so it's just one click on. You do have a battery indicator light here, and then it's going to be just hold it down once it's on, and that will cycle you through your modes: low, medium, high, or it must be moon, low, medium, high. And then you have double click is going to be your turbo, and your turbo is going to be coming in at 5,000 lumens with 482 meters of throw. So this is a big boy putting out quite a bit of power. I mean, it's not that big in contrast to some other flashlights that are out there that are 3 times this size, 2 and 3 times this size. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit smaller, that's going to perform like a larger light, this might be a good option. I recommend everyone have, a flashlight or two that they can carry around as an EDC light. And then I highly recommend having a few for around the house that are separate from your EDC light. Something with more power, if you need it in the dead of night, you're going to have something very bright. I have 2 larger flashlights like this, or even larger, in the bedroom, one for me, one for Ashley to use. If something were to go bump in the night, we can light it up very well if we need to or want to. Or if you hear something outside, you have a very strong blinding light if you need. So I highly recommend having something like this. Now, I'll link both of these items down in the description of this video. I'll also link a few other Wurkkos lights that are in this same similar size and a little bit smaller and down to the EDC size. But this is going to be a very easy user interface. So like I said, it's one click to turn it on. Hold it down, and that'll cycle you through your normal modes. Just hold it down. It's very easy. You can feel the tactile clicks as you push it in there, and it's textured, which is nice. So it's 1 to turn it on, 2 for turbo, and then 3 for your strobe. So Very, very easy. I didn't even have to look at the instructions or anything. Very easy user interface. So that's something I really like. Having an easy UI for the flashlight is, in my opinion, it's imperative, because I'm not real into programming nothing and doing all these various levels or whatever with the flashlight. I just want to be able to cycle through it, get where I want to be with the flashlight, and that's it, and then turn it off when I'm done. So Wurkkos does a great job at making the UI very easy to use. And we do have a semi-cranulated bezel here with a couple of kind of detent balls on the ends. So that would be good, pretty decent as a striking implement there. A lot of reports that I have heard over the years is a flashlight is one of the most used when it comes to self-defense. A lot of people either use a flashlight to scare somebody off or use it to light them up and use the flashlight itself as a self-defense tool. So this is a multi-faceted item that you can use in a varying bunch of roles. It's a little bit large even for, like, say, a purse and a female. It's pretty heavy. So I don't know if I'd use it in that role, but this would be fitting for, like I said, around the house, around the property, in a vehicle, as your kind of emergency flashlight that you keep in the vehicle. And as far as, there's no magnetization there on the bottom, being as you have a tail cap for your switch, but very nice. Wurkkos, if you're looking for an affordable flashlight, Wurkkos is a great company to look through their catalog. They have a lot of different sizes that use a lot of different batteries. Most of them, if not all of them, are going to be USB-C rechargeable, which is very nice. This one has the little cover right here, so it'll be very easy to get to and charge this puppy up. I'm sure they recommend, once you open this, pull it out of the box, they want you to charge it up first thing before you go messing with it like I was just doing. But we'll throw it on the charger, get it charged up. But like I said, Wurkkos makes a very dependable flashlight. A couple of the ones I have from them have really been beaten on, and they continue to charge, they continue to work, and I have not had a single complaint with the 8 or 10 Wurkkos flashlights that I have at this point. They're one of my favorite flashlight companies when it comes to a budget light. You'll have to let me know, what do you think of the Flissa here, and what do you think of Wurkkos and their line of flashlights, specifically the TS23 here. If you have any Wurkkos flashlights or any Flissa knives, let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate that. It helps push these videos out there to more people. If you're new here, I release daily knife and EDC content. Make sure you are subscribed. Ring that bell. That'll notify you anytime I release new content. Even live streams, which I have Monday and Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, every Monday, every Saturday, right around 9 p.m. Eastern. Everyone is welcome to come and hang out. I'd love to have you there. I will put up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out for me. Have yourself an awesome day. Thank you all again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.